guys, Di here from Di's Den, and welcome to our first video for October 2023. And we're going to start with a Christmas card. Now this one I've done with all retired product. The card we're going to be making, I'm doing it with retired product, and the stamps that I'm using is actually current, but the colours and everything else are all retired because I've got these here and I'm really only showing you the technique. So, but if you would like the newer papers, well, you can always check them out on my, if you go to my name and click on to go to the Stampin' Up website. So this is what we're going to make. It's a 6x, or it's actually not a 6x6 card, it's actually a 5 7/8 by 5 7/8 because I'm using A4 card rather than 12 by 12. So my inside is just plain, as you know, and I love this effect. So I'm going to show you what we are going to use because we have to make this template for this, which is a great idea because you can use it over and over and over again. So let me pop this out the way and I'll show you the stamp set we're going to be using first. So this is actually in the new catalogue. It's called Stars at Night and it comes with these beautiful dies as well, which I haven't got here. So we're going to be using that. We're going to be using the Merry Christmas for on the front. We're going to use the stars, this star group, and this wishing you the best and brightest holiday season for the inside of the card. And I'm going to stamp them in Merry Merlot, which is actually a retired colour. Okay, so we're also going to use, and these are current, the 2-inch circle punch and the 2 3/8 circle punch. So I'm going to just, I've forgotten something. I'm just going to switch off and come back in a sec. I forgot our gems, so I've just brought them over now as well. So that's that done. So let me show you what we're going to use. I'm going to pop that card just there for a minute, and I'll show you what the template looks like as well. So you'll be able to make a template and use it over and over again. So I've cut, that's my template. I've cut ready for another one so I can show you exactly how to make it. Okay, so for our card base we need a piece that is 11 3/4 by 5 7/8. For the front of our card we need a piece that's 5 5/8 by 5 5/8, and our DSP layer is 5 3/8 by 5 3/8. For the inside we need another piece that's 5 5/8 by 5 5/8, and our writing panel piece that goes on the top is 5 3/8 by 5 3/8. That couldn't get much easier, that's the same top and bottom. Okay, then you're going to need 4 pieces, or you probably could get away with 3.5, but if you're cutting a half you might as well cut 4. And these are 11 3/4 inches by 1/8 of an inch long. So you'll need those, and then you will need, in the same colour as what you've done your strips, a circle that is 2 3/8 by 2, which is the 2 3/8 circle. And then to go on the top of that is you've got your 2-inch circle. Okay, so we're going to start by doing our template, so I can show you how to make the template. So you're going to use this. You're going to use your 2-inch circle punch as well. So I'm going to just pop this another 2-inch circle out of the paper. Oh, and the other thing you're going to need, and this is entirely up to you as well, is some removable tape. You only need a tiny little bit, but there you go. So we're going to use this and this. So what we're going to do first is we're actually going to fold this in half. So if you do this out of old card stock, that's great because you've got it to go over and over again. So we're going to fold that in half that way and this way, which will give us our sections a lot easier. Alright, so then we're going to use our ruler and a pencil, and we're going to measure, and I'm going to actually do mine on my board down here because it's just easier for me, 1 1/8 of an inch on all 4 sides. 1 1/8 of an inch. Actually, I should have done that both sides. Sorry about that. 1 1/8 and 1 1/8 there, so that I've got it on both sides, and then turn it all the way around, and I'll do 1 1/8 and 1 1/8 there. Turn it around once more time. This just makes it easier. If not, you can use your ruler. 1 1/8 by 1 1/8. Then we're going to use the ruler to come in and measure 1 inch from that mark in 1 inch. So we're going to mark that on both sides like so. And again, all the way around we're going to do that. So we're going to do 1 inch, 1 inch. This is probably the longest part, is getting the template ready. 1 inch, 1 inch, and one more side of 1 inch by 1 inch. Okay, so now once we've got this, and let's move that out of the way, we are going to go and we're going to draw a line from this top first mark down to the bottom last mark. So we're going to draw a line across our page like so, and then we're going to move around one more and do one there, and you'll see that they always go right through the middle. That is why we've done the thing here, because it will help you to make sure that you've got it just right. If you feel confident that you're right, you don't have to, but I just think that it makes it easier. You know that you're right. Once you've done that one, you're going to turn it around and to the next, and you're going to do exactly the same again. So we're going to measure from that one to that one and draw. Again, we're going to draw that one. This one. Oops. Oops, I went a little bit off there. There we go. That one to that one. Okie dokie. So once we've got that, we're then going to just fold our circle in half and fold and burnish that down too. And then if we fold and burnish it the other way, we know that that is going to be right in the middle there, and you can see it will match up then with these. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to use a little bit of this stick-on double-sided tape that we can just pull off again, and I'm going to line that up so that all the score lines that we drew, folded, go around there, and then we can draw around this whole circle. Now it's just easier to do it this way than trying to put it on afterwards. So we've got a circle in the middle. You'll see that that's the same as what mine is. Now I'm just going to pop that on one side. I'm going to put top through the middle here, so we know that this is the top. And then I'm going to start by going in each corner. We're going to put a P, and this is because that's where the paper is going to be. So we're going to put a P in all the corners, and then we're going to miss one and we're going to put a P in the middle one. Miss one and put a P in the middle one. Miss one, put the P in this one. Miss one, put the P in this one. Okay, so once we've done that, we can now cut this out, and the whole idea of putting the P's in there is so you know and you don't get muddled up as well. So when we cut, we're going to cut up this line here, only to where the circle joins, and up this one here, and we're going to cut that piece out there, right around like so. We've done that one, and we just keep going around the whole thing in the same manner. right around. I'm not going to go right around because I've already got one cut out there, so I'll just do a couple more so we can see what it's going to look like when we've got half of it done. And it doesn't matter if this is not 100% correct. You know, we're not keeping this, it's just our template. And it's great because then you've got your template to do this project over and over again. So there we go, that's half of it done. I will finish that off so I've got an extra template at another time. So once we've done that, we're going to turn it over and we're going to write bottom on this side or back. That is just so that you know that that is the back of the paper you're going to be using. So let's pop this on one side because we're not going to finish that one off because I've got a template here. So we're going to start with our piece of designer series paper, and I like to turn it over so that the back's facing, and then turning the template over, you know that it's going to line up. So I'm going to then, I've got double-sided tape, you know, removable tape on these already, so you're just going to line it up in the corner of this one. Once you're happy, pop it down, carry on going around, right around, until you've got it on there nicely, and then you can just pop the others down like so. Now you can either cut out from there, but I found by cutting out from there, I found that it was a little bit more difficult than if I just went and drew the lines on this, on the back of this, all the way around. Because if your paper slips, you could cut in the wrong place. Where if you're holding it down as you go, you know that it's in the right place, and then you know that your lines are going to be in this right place. Okay, once you've done that, and I've got all them marks on my nice clean sheet here, I'm going to rub them off because they'll annoy me otherwise. Okay, we can pop this off and we can see where we're cutting out. Alright, so then we don't need our template anymore at the present time, and then we're going to go around, and because we haven't got marks here, we know that's the section we're keeping. We know that these pieces here that we've cut up to there and up to that one, and cut this bit out. Now again, it doesn't matter if you go a little bit over the edge or if you're cutting at the top. So I've got to go all the way around on this one, unfortunately. If you don't want to watch me, you can whiz along, but it doesn't take that long. So we're going to finish this piece off completely before we actually assemble the card. I just find that it's easier to get this bit out of the way, and then the card goes together so quickly, it's not funny. And did you know that October has 6 Sundays in it? So we have 5 Sundays in it, sorry. So we have 6 projects this month, as we have our Wednesday Wowser and 5 Sundays. Next month, in November, we have 10 projects, because we have our 4 Sundays, our Wednesday Wowser, and the last full week of November is Table Favour Week. Okay, so that's that done, and that's the front of it. So how pretty does that look? And it's going to look really pretty on our card here, like so. But before we pop that onto there and before we do anything else, we're going to glue our strips onto this. Now let me move some of this stuff out of the way so I can get it in, because I'm going to need my glue. And this is the easiest way I found to do it. Now we don't want to go right across the middle here like so, because it's such a waste and it doesn't always line correctly up, and it will be very bulky in the middle. So what we're going to do is we're going to glue these along that edge on all of them. So for me, what I did is this, is I put it in about 1/2 inch and I turned it over and pulled my glue right along that edge. Ooh, get on there, there we go. And then I pop this on here like so, right along that edge there, making sure that it sits nicely so that you can't see any of the DSPs just there. Okay, and then I just cut it off. I know I left it a bit longer because I felt that it was easier to do that and keep moving around the page and then trim it all afterwards. Now this is a little bit time consuming, but it's really not that bad. I just found that I just sort of measured it with my finger, turned it over, put my glue on and laid it down on top of it. Bringing it in, using my fingers just to make sure it's right at that edge there, and then pressing down hard, cutting it off. So this is, as I say, probably the most time-consuming part of this card, as in assembling the card. That piece there I'm going to fit in there. See, that's going to fit on that one there, so I'm going to just pop that one on there. So you might get away with 3 strips. It just depends on how much you trim off the edge. This one's not going to be very much on the edge, but it's just so pretty. So let's pop this one down here. And I just think this is one of those cards that is a little bit different without being over the top complicated. I've seen other versions. I saw a couple of versions on Pinterest and I thought, well, I didn't know how they made theirs, but oops, this is how I did mine, and this is how I got my template. I don't know if I've seen anybody's with a template, and the ones I saw on Pinterest didn't actually even have names next to them. So come here. At the moment I don't have any fingernails, so I'm making it a tiny bit hard for me to pick things up. They've all broken off again. That always happens when I stress out too much. And I've had a bit of a stressful few months, but never mind. Things are on the look up, so and that's the main thing. I can hear my stomach rumbling. I hope that's not coming through on the video. And I don't know why, because it's mid-afternoon and I've had my lunch, so oops. It's good to use the liquid glue rather than to use tape, because it does give you that chance to move it if it's not quite in the right spot. So there's always advantages to doing this with liquid glue. It gives you a chance to move it into position nicely so that you know that it's not showing along that edge on any of them. And don't be put off by the fact that this looks fiddly, because believe it or not, it really isn't that fiddly. Come on, can't pick that up. Getting these fingernails to grow again before Christmas would be really lovely. Yay, wouldn't it? Whether they will or not, who knows. But I think we'll be having a very quiet Christmas this year somehow. If I had my silicone mat, and I don't know where it is, otherwise I would have put that down so that this did not stick to my grid paper. But never mind, that's life. Let's chuck those bits in the bin. I've got one more and I've got 3 spots to go. So as I say, we're nearly there, and unfortunately if you are watching this and you're getting a little bit bored with me going around, please whiz past. I will not be offended in any way, shape or form. There's no, you know, I mean, I do it when I watch other people's videos too. If they're carrying on, and like me, I'm find it a little bit difficult to work out how to do the fast forward on my video when I upload it. I'm still learning, and it's taken me a little while to do it, but never mind, we all get there in the end. Now that one's a little bit over, so that one's going to move a bit more. That's better. And lucky last. So now if you've got 12-inch foil, you might be able to get it out of 3 strips, but I don't have 12-inch foil. It was cut into 11 3/4 because it's A4 foil. I'll pop that bit out of the way. Alright, so I'm going to turn that over now, and I'm just going to quickly push down on all of those so that they're nice and tight, and then I'm going to trim them all the way around. I'll do that from the back. Come on. Okay, that's all of those done. Let me get rid of all these bits. Yay, she says. Yay, I can hear you all saying. Okay, so that is the front of our card piece done. So now I'm going to pull these out of the way, and we're going to fold and burnish, score and burnish our card. So we're going to put our 11 3/4 inch piece into the card on the long side, and we're going to score this using the small ended ball at the 5 7/8 mark. And that's all the scoring we're going to do. Now my Mary Merlot card is very thick. I think this red colour dye must be really saturate the paper and makes it feel a lot thicker. So we're going to pop that down like so, and then we're going to lay our pieces on top like so. Now it looks really strange in the middle. Don't worry about that at all. So let's move that out of the way. We're going to glue this piece to this piece. making sure that we get the same edge all the way around. So let's glue that down. Oh, come on, get on there, paper. Oh, I've got the whistles here today, haven't I? They're not going straight. Never mind, they'll get there. I like to make sure that I get down, especially in the corners of the card, because it does make it easier and to stick nicely without coming up. Now I found holding it like this and then popping it over the top, just so I can see that it's even. Once I'm happy with how even that is, I can press it down. Once I've pressed it down, I'll turn it over and give it a good squish down now, just like so. And then that can now be stuck onto the front of the cards. Now, because this is a square card, and we haven't got any saying on here yet, and I've actually used a designer series paper that doesn't matter which way you put it on. So you can have it so that it opens this way or that way. It doesn't really matter. So I'm going to pop that down nice and hard. And I'm going to do my stamping now for the front and on the white pieces here. So let me bring in my stamps and my Merry Merlot ink. Oh my goodness, which is hard as nails to open. And I'm going to stamp Best and Bright Holiday Season. Wishing you the best and brightest holiday season. How beautiful does that look? And then I'm going to put these stars. Now I don't think there's any right way up. And I'm going to, oops, I thought that was a bit of ink. Thank goodness it wasn't. In this top corner. And in this bottom one. Oh yes, that looks lovely. Let's pop that out of the way so it dries for a minute, and then I'm just going to put my Merry Christmas on the front piece here. Yep, gorgeous, just like I bought one, as my mum would have always said. So that she doesn't do much buying of anything anymore, unfortunately. She just is sitting there wasting away at the present time, unfortunately. Okay, so that's going to be stuck onto there and then stuck onto the inside of the cards. So I'm going to glue this onto here. And I'm also going to glue this one onto this one. I'm doing this now so that it's got time to dry. Because gluing onto a mirror card or foil card takes a bit longer to dry. So you don't want to move it around too much. Okay, so we'll pop that one there. We'll pop this on the inside of the card. Come out. It's a warm day today, and because I didn't put the lid in, the pin in, now it's jammed up. There we go. There we go. Naughty me. I'm always putting my pin in there, and then today I didn't do it. Okay, so oops, pop that one on the inside of my card like so. We'll turn that over and make sure that's down nice and neatly. So that's the front of our card. We've got our dimensionals here. Well, we have somewhere. I've got them here. Here we go. And we're going to pop some of these onto the back of that card, circles. Pop that onto the front of the card over that circle area there. That's why we're not worried about whether or not our circle gets cut a bit jaggedy, because that's going to sit over the top like that. And now we're just going to put a few gems on here to finish it off. So I'm going to use one of these large ones down the bottom here, and then a couple of these medium-sized ones, one either side. There we go. That's our card for today. What do you think? Oh, I love it. I like the effect. It's called a starburst card. So, and that's our card. This one I did with glitter paper, and it looks lovely. I did this one with the rose gold because it matches in with the rose gold on these here. But it's a card you could do for any time of the year. Doesn't have to be for Christmas, but because we're at that that time of the year, that's why we're doing it this way. And I just think that it's gorgeous. If you've liked this and you'd like the written tutorial for it, please head over to Diane's Den for stamping, crafting and tutorials. You'll find the link down below here. If you've enjoyed it too, please give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment. I always answer your comments, even if it's only to say thank you. And I will see you again next week. Bye for now.